We do so many things, but then a lot of times we may forget what we're actually doing. So I just have a hunch that this verse, because I hear people quote this verse a lot, there's no preparation, but I'm not going to just continue on where we are, because there's where I want to go today is Trinata Pisini Chena. That's what I want to go today. So I heard some from really nice senior devotees, some really things that will be helpful if we go to this verse. I'm just hoping I can segue from this verse to Trinata Pisini Chena. But anyway, to keep the spirit of Bhagavatam going, we must start with Bhagavatam. Oh, that is not what I thought it was. So, I hear this verse quoted a lot. So we're going to go to it. Okay. Satang prasangan mama virya samvido.
Satam prasangan mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha.
Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha.
Tajjoshanad ashvapavargavartmani.
Tajjoshanad ashvapavargavartmani.
Shridharatir bhaktir anukramishyti.
Shridharatir bhaktir anukramishyti.
Maybe one more time. Satang prasangan mama virya samvido.
Satang prasangan mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha.
Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha.
Tajjoshanad ashvapavargavartmani.
Tajjoshanad ashvapavargavartmani.
Shridharatir bhaktir anukramishyti.
Shridharatir bhaktir anukramishyti.
Were you trying to say something? Oh yes, we'll do the Jnana phrase. What we'll do is, let's see how long this purport is. The reason we do the invocation prayers first, instead of after reading, is because usually what happens is I speak too much and then we forget to glorify our connection. So I usually just do it in the beginning, before I get going. So before we get into that, we will do the invocation prayers as given by Srila Prabhupada in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. I also would, before we do, you can chant this one together. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, we'll get there. Oh, we're going for it. Om, this is like the Bij mantra for almost all of the Vedic mantras. It's said to be the sound of the universe, the pranava mantra. Ajnana is ignorance, Timira is darkness, and Andasya is blinded. So we are blinded by darkness due to our ignorance. Now this is where I thought it's cool. If you look at the translation of Jnananjana Shalakaya, because I've always heard it's like the torchlight of knowledge, right? Actually, it's interesting. Gyan Anjana is actually the ointment of knowledge, and Shalakaya is a tool in which you remove people's cataracts with. So through the ointment of knowledge, Shalakaya, they're coming in and they're taking the cataracts out of your eyes, the darkness, the blindness. And so Chakshurun Militam, my eyes have been opened. By who? Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Unto him, Shri Guru, I offer my obeisances. So this is, I always thought that was cool. I didn't always think it was cool, but I just learned it was pretty cool. So I thought, that's not usually the translation most people give, but it's very nice. So now let's just finish out like this. Maybe Ben, you want to scroll?
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakam Shri Guru Vaisnavcha Shri Rupam Sarnam Sanganiram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaurani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shuddhivade Kashyata Vishatarine. So I'd like to offer my very humble obeisances to my spiritual master, my Diksha spiritual master, and then many Shiksha gurus have been helping and influencing me and helping me make advancement over the years. I want to offer my obeisances to all of them. I then want to offer my obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, but especially the ones right in front of us here. So, before we begin, anything that I say, if it's good, Prahat Mridanga said this last night, if it's good, it's coming from the disciplic succession being channeled through me, and anything that goes out of alignment with that, that's my own anarthas and nonsense. So please excuse when that comes up, and please pray that our disciplic succession here would be so kind as to let me be a channel for their knowledge. Luckily, we are going to read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, so even if I am inclined to speak so much nonsense, he will give it to us pretty good. So, Satam of pure devotees, Prasanga through the association, Mama, my, Virya, wonderful activities, Samvida, by discussion of, Bhavanti, become, Hrit, to the heart, Karna, to the ear, Rasayana, pleasing, Katha, the stories, Tat, of that, Joshana, by cultivation, Ashu, quickly, Apavarga, of liberation, Vartmani, on the path, Shraddha, firm faith, Rati, attraction, Bhakti, devotion, Anukramishyti, will follow in order. Okay, translation. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Purport. The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees, because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the Absolute Truth. Because they do not associate with devotees, they cannot understand that the Absolute Truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is a very difficult subject matter, and unless one has personal understanding of the Absolute Truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories, because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees. And by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and the devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord, and then, being situated in the transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. So, if you look in this verse, it says here, it says that by cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed. So actually, first thing that'll happen is you'll become freed, and you'll be liberated from suffering in this world. Actually, before even bhakti really begins, then real devotion begins. He says, then real devotion and devotional service begins. Right now, where are we at? We want to say, oh, I'm doing real devotion. But actually, if you really assess, if I really assess my life, that's what I find. It's not, the taste so much isn't there. It's kind of like a forced, thing. This is Vaidhi Bhakti. Kind of, we know we should do this so we don't go to hell, or we don't get punished by Krishna or whatever reason, but we're doing it. That's Vaidhi is, it's tinged with fear. It's we have some fear of Krishna, and it's healthy actually. If we don't have this initial fear, because we're so self-interested in the beginning, we won't actually take it. Because we're coming with so much anyabilash, or material desires, we don't actually, it's good that Vaidhi Bhakti is first, given to us. Because we can't just be all right, well, I'll just jump on the Raganuga platform. But actually, what's our qualification to even recognize a devotee? We really don't have in the beginning. So what do we have? Luckily, we have the scriptures. And Srila Prabhupada, he, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. What he really did, it's why it's in ISKCON, it's almost a little taboo to talk about Raganuga Bhakti, And other Gaudiya Sanghas, they almost start with that, But actually in ISKCON, the reason it's kind of taboo is because Srila Prabhupada really wanted to set the foundation of Vaidhi Bhakti, because it's very, very important. And if we don't have this original foundation, we could become what's called Prakriti Sahajas, or taking that which is amazing. Sahaja actually has a positive definition. It's a very positive word. But we've taken it now, oh, you're a sahaja, you're a sahaja. If actually someone was a sahaja, it would be like a compliment. Oh, thank you so much. This deep attraction for the Lord. But actually, Prakrita Sahaja is not good, because what is Prakrita? They actually have attraction for materialism, and they're kind of putting it in the guise of spiritualism. So ultimately, what's the process here? We have to associate with pure devotees. We were talking about this last night. That was the verse we did last night. And, it was talking about the different levels of devotees. If someone's just chanting Hare Krishna, you offer them your obeisances. If somebody is, that was the verse before, I think. But anyhow, if someone's just chanting Hare Krishna, you offer them your obeisances. If they're initiated, they're taking the process seriously, you formally will offer them respect, Panchakalpa prayers, all these things. And then, if someone's a pure devotee, you actually want to render them practical service. Pranipatena, becoming very humble before them, pariprashna, inquiring from them, and then, all the tat karma, that we should do, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all this in their association. So we are doing like this. And then actually it says here how bhakti will come. You might have heard of the Bhakti Lata Beach. What is the Bhakti Lata Beach? It's mentioned in this verse. Someone say?
It's the seed of our bhakti.
Seed of bhakti, yes. But there's a word for it. I'll give you a hint. Of these words, it's one of them. What's that? Shraddha, yes. Shraddha is firm. It's firm faith. So this is the seed of bhakti. So who's giving firm faith to us?
Satam.
Could be guru, but it could be any form of guru. So Satam, the pure devotee. So it could be the Vartma Pradarshika guru,
who's saying, hey, you should check out this temple, you should just check out right here. It could be the shiksha guru. Maybe you find someone at the temple and they act as your mentor for some time, they're giving you shiksha. And then ultimately, if such a qualified shiksha guru is found, then you could actually take diksha from them, and can be, a very, very deep relationship. But also you can have very, very deep relationships with a shiksha guru. I know, for instance, Radhanath Maharaj. He's thousands and upon thousands of disciples. He has a program where he has his most qualified disciples practically give shiksha to the junior disciples. And instead of Radhanath Maharaj having to answer 80,000 emails, he has his, ordained shiksha gurus handle these things. So actually, for all intents and purposes, this is happening where the chain of mercy is still coming, but the person's guru, for many intents and purposes, may be a shiksha guru, even though the diksha is Radhanath Maharaj. But there's only so much association we can get. Brihat Mridanga, I'm seeing over with your group, he's acting as a shiksha guru to you in many ways. Maybe you don't, maybe you see him only as friend or things, or maybe you do see, yes, he's definitely my shiksha guru, but he's acting like this in many ways, and so on. So the guru, he's actually the one who he gives devotion. He gives the seed, shraddha. He gives you faith in the process. And then in this verse, it goes very quickly. It says shraddha, firm faith, and then rati, attraction. You know where that is up on the tree of devotion? Number 6. And yes, bhav. This is bhav bhakti. So this is means all through anartha nivritti, practically finished. Ruchi, there's a deep taste. A shakti, there's a deep attachment, and then you reach bhav. It's very, very advanced stage. And then it says shraddha, rati, and then bhakti, devotion. And then this is referring to prem, the prem bhakti. This is the top, like pure love for Krishna. But even before that begins, you have to actually be liberated. So this is actually the really interesting part. In the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he talks in the Madhurya Kadambini, and he says that at the beginning, and it's not, he's actually quoting from things like this, from the Bhagavatam. His whole Madhurya Kadambini, it's not like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it's some just genius brain who's invented bhakti. He is a genius brain, but he's a genius brain because he's following Guru Parampara, and he's seeing in the Bhagavatam that this is actually the process giving. And there's 2 things that happen immediately when bhakti sprouts. The first 2 leaves of the tree. Do you know what they are?
Shubhada
And one more.
Kleshagni.
Kleshagni, that's it. Kleshagni means all of your troubles will go away. All suffering finished. Kleshagni, and simultaneously Shubhada. Shubhada is all auspicious qualities will come. That's when bhakti begins, and that's like the path of liberation is finished. You're liberated. All of your troubles are finished, and all auspicious qualities have arisen in your life. So who here is bold enough to say, yes, I've begun? My bhakti is clearly sprouting. It's sprouted and ready. Real devotion is ready to begin. Who will say? None of us will say, right? Because we know, oh my gosh, I still have all these troubles. I still have all of these, anarthas, these rough qualities that aren't allowing me to make advancement in spiritual life. So it's a very kind of a humbling verse because it makes us realize our real devotion actually hasn't quite begun yet. Even though we're on the path. And then right now we're trying to go through the anartha nivritti stage and actually still overcome the modes of material nature. That's what we're still doing. So we're really still on the material platform in many ways. Even though the transcendental process is given, the seed is there, but we haven't poked out of the earth yet. We're still fighting our way out of the darkness, and then when light comes and real light hits us, then these things sprout immediately. Kleshagni and Shubhada. So until you're completely free of trouble in your life, or even your mentality of how you're approaching life, and all auspicious qualities have arisen, has begun to arise, then we have it's like a very humbling place. So what to do, right? There's we discussed this morning in Shikshastakam, the verse, how all auspiciousness is coming, how all bliss is coming. We're going to be tasting this bliss. We're going to be swimming in this bliss. We're going to be bathing in the nectar of, the Harinam Sankirtan movement. All the fire, nirvapanam, it'll be extinguished. The Bhava Mahadavagni, it'll just be extinguished. Our heart will be cleansed. We are doing, right? We're thinking. But it's, I've been doing this now 8, 9 years. And it's not like, oh yes, all these things, they've come. They've come much more. When I started to now, oh my gosh, thank God. Thank God for the Harinam Sankirtan movement. But, yes, in this verse, kind of the indication, has the real devotion begun? I'll say no for myself. You guys, you have your own personal relationship with Krishna, and you can say. But for me, I know my real devotion hasn't begun. There's still some anarthas, and there's still some, not that actually, even in bhav, anartha can still affect you, actually. Only in prem is now you're free from anartha. But the anarthas are far less at bhav, and then at bhav, it's finished. It's just only a matter of time before prem comes at this point. But you can still go down if you make an offense to a devotee. That's about the only thing left. If you make an offense to a pure devotee, then finished. But then you can go back down. But even at ruchi, even at nishtha, most are put to the side. If one is actually firmly fixed in guru's order, and now not just any guru, they also have to be an Uttam Bhagavat guru, actually. There's different tiers of guru. That's why, the Vartma Pradarshika guru, like if we're on the street and I say, yes, here's Bhakti Yoga, come to the temple, and now just follow me, I'll take care of you, I'll deliver you. They'll be sorely, I will cheat them, because I'm not able to do that. So, yes.
I just have a question. How do we reconcile real devotion not having begun with the definition given of devotion yesterday, of having taken the vow and become serious about it? Could we say that devotion has begun once that vow is seriously taken, and as the anarthas are being cleansed, that's part of the process?
So Prabhupada is translating this out as real devotion. It's not, real devotion, the Bhakti Lata Bij is already, we have the seed of Bhakti, it's Shraddha, it's faith. It's not that that's not real. It's that you could say it hasn't sprouted and it hasn't really, you haven't crossed the liberated platform yet. So it will cross you by the process, and you need a liberated being, already liberated, to cross you. But it is real, it's there, you've sprouted, we've all sprouted. Us ourselves, we are, we're pure spiritual beings, but the way Prabhupada, it's just like a semantics thing at this point. He's saying real devotion, but he's talking about the post-liberated bhakti, where you're not, he was talking about what Uttam Bhakti was last night, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. You're completely free of material desires, Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. There's no tinge for wanting to be a scholar, increased in knowledge, karma, wanting the fruits of your activities, adi, which is renunciation, mystic ability, all these things. There's no tinge of that left. That's pure bhakti. That's what he's talking. Real devotion is Uttam Bhakti. It's not that it's not there. I mean, we all got infected by it. Like a great infection. What were they saying? The coronavirus has come. The mercy virus has come during the COVID-19. Everyone was saying the coronavirus. The mercy virus has come to all of us, and now we're growing. But we have to ultimately. This is why Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, he spends the last 4 chapters really teaching you about the modes of nature, and how to elevate in the modes of nature, and how to eventually get out of the modes of nature. Why? Because real bhakti really can't, or I don't want to say real bhakti, even though Prabhupada said it. Prabhupada's saying right here, real devotion cannot really begin until you are liberated, until you've completely transcended the modes of material nature. then that's why the liberated beings, there's this famous Atmaram verse. They say this is the path of the liberated. Shukadev Goswami, the Kumaras, and so on. They take bhakti, the liberated beings. We are ourselves, we also have been seen bhakti. We've been impacted by bhakti. But because we still have tinges of, we're prakrita bhaktas, you could say, that's another word for kanishta adhikari. But because we are still beginning and we haven't gotten liberated as of yet, the real devotion may not have begun. Also, I'm only speaking for myself, but I can't be like, yes, Mahatma Danga or Bhakta Bruce. I can't. It's not my position to say yes. Your Piyush's real bhakti began. Madhav's definitely didn't. It's not my position to say like that, actually, because I cannot recognize. Because maybe, who knows? Maybe every one of you in the class is a liberated soul, and real devotion has indeed begun, and I'm the only one here sitting here where it hasn't begun. Whenever Raghunath Bhatta whenever he heard criticism of Vaishnavas, he would say that everybody is doing bhajan except me. He'd cover his ears, everyone is doing bhajan except me, and then he'd run away. so like that, this is something that is we could take for that, because that very well may be the case. But if you are similar to me, you may have realized, wow, I still have a lot of anartha and a lot of things that are blocking me. So actually, in the Shikshastakam, this is mentioned, right? What is this verse? Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Right? Nam Nam, the holy names. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda. It's manifested, Bahuda, many varieties. Nija Sarva Shaktis, with all of your personal potencies. All of your personal potency is in there. Meaning Krishna's name, his form, his pastimes. None of it is different, actually. But I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, but I'm not seeing his form. I'm not seeing his pastimes. I'm not experiencing all of his qualities, his gunas. I'm not experiencing what I don't get it. Well, he's saying, Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. And there's bestowed no niyamita, no rules. Niyamita smarane, there's no rules in remembrance, smaran, and nakalaha, nor time. Etadrishi, so much so, tava kripa, your mercy, Bhagavan mamapi, oh Lord, it's coming to me. It's able to be there, api, although, and you said this yesterday, due to my offenses, Dordaivam, misfortune has arisen. Idrisham, and it's such. Ihajani, in this world, Iha, Ajani, birth. Nanuraga, no attachment to the holy name. We all saw, right? We all sat and we tried to chant japa this morning. And it's very difficult to just sit and chant the japa, right? It's so difficult to just sit and chant the holy name of the Lord. But unfortunately, why is it difficult? Because, for myself, we still have offenses. And we chant the 10 offenses every day, right? Every day. One, what's the number one offense? Blaspheming the devotees. That's why somehow you hear, everyone's doing bhajan but me, and then you run. You run. No criticizing of devotees. In the heart, sometimes we can judge devotees and some of the things. This is number one offense. But there's 10 offenses. Do you know the root cause of all the offenses? Inattention. Actually, this is what furthers, the 4 defects, right? Do you know them? Someone tell me the imperfect senses, karnapata, vipralipsa, the cheating propensity, tendency to make mistakes, brahm, what?
What is inherently what is cheating propensity? It encapsulate a lot of
things. The cheating propensity, I can explain it. I'll explain them in sequence because they layer you into ignorance. And it starts with the first, Brahm, and then it layers on top, and then you're just completely, Maya has completely captured you. What's the cheating propensity? And there's one more.
illusion. You fall into illusion.
Yes, and this illusion, it's called pramada, and it actually is inattention. It's inattention. This is what causes us to fall in illusion. So how it works is Brahm first gets us. The first problem is we've made a mistake with what reality is. We've mislocated what is the actual essence and meaning of life. Instead of it being Brahman, the absolute truth, God, Krishna, anything of the transcendental nature, we've put it in this material body, these senses, and the glittery, shiny things of this world. So this is the first thing. We've made a mistake. This is the main mistake we've made. Oh, this will give me happiness, the material world. And then, due to pramada, the initial mistake is there. Due to pramada, now we're distracted by the material world. And instead of being able to really, think very deeply about this matter, am I really a material being? All material things, they don't have consciousness, but I have this conscious awareness. But because we're so distracted by all these things, we can't actually think very deeply at all. So then the layer of illusion, pramada. And then when we go into these things, we like certain things. And this is the cheating propensity, vipralipsa. So, one, it's not about cheating others, actually. Do you know who we cheat the most? It's cheating ourselves, actually. We become convinced, yes, this will give me happiness. This is the goal of life. Even in bhakti, this can happen. It's actually not bhakti yoga. It's karma mishra bhakti or karma, or bhakti mishra karma even sometimes. Depends how strong the material desire is. But what actually happens is that we then get very, very attached to material things. And then we can convince ourselves even, and we can convince others that, yes, this is of prime importance, even in a devotional sphere. Yes, this is the prime importance. Prabhupada, that's why a lot of times, he bashed astrology, he bashed the yoga system, he bashed all kinds of seemingly Vedic things, pranayama, all these things. Why would he do that? Why? Because he's actually trying to set the foundation. This is not pure bhakti. This is not pure bhakti. And it can be used in pure bhakti. They're angas of the Vedas. Why would he say such things about these things? Why? But as soon as you get dovetailed and you focus on these things, they can actually take you away from pure bhakti. Which is why he was so strong. He was so strong. So vipralipsa is the cheating propensity for us to assume that things that aren't directly, have to do with reality or spirit are important. And that's the things of this material world. So we cheat ourselves first. That's the number one cheating. And then, because we're cheated, we've already cheated ourselves with our inability to focus very deeply on life. And we can't reconcile that original mistake that we've made towards dualism and materialism as opposed to the absolute truth or a spiritual path, a bona fide spiritual path. Then we're cheated. And then with our imperfect senses, the final layer, then we engage all the imperfect senses. And then we make so many opinions based on these imperfect senses. And our whole life is based on, what I saw or what I heard and in the material world, and then finished. Now we are materialistic scientists and all these things. We have this materialistic, mechanistic worldview and so on. Finished. So this is the layers of illusion coming in. This is how Maya covers you. And it could be stopped, though, if we, come across knowledge, and then but even if you come across knowledge, what is the first process of bhakti? Shravanam. But what is real Shravanam? How can you do it without going in? Going away, he might give a pure message, but I'm covered. How can I go away from going deeper into illusion when I'm hearing? The Sangha. Through the association, yes, but in that association I still have to do something. You have to be attentive, right? We did this verse this week. We have a class after this couple that we're studying shlokas. And it's Kachir etachchutam partha tvayai kagrena chetasa. He's saying, Krishna is saying, whether, have you heard, etat shrutam, have you heard, O Partha, tvaya eka agrena, with one pointed attention, eka agrena, with one pointed attention, tvaya eka agrena chetasa, in mind. Has your mind been absorbed in one pointed attention? If your mind has been absorbed in one pointed attention, because Krishna is God. Krishna is God, enlightening Arjuna. Perfect, amazing. What a situation. God is here, living entity is here, getting complete enlightenment. But he's even saying there's a qualification to receive the enlightenment. Have you heard with one pointed attention? And then he says, Kachid agyana samoha. Has your ignorance and illusion, pranashtat te dhananjaya, O Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth, has it been dispelled? And he's checking with Arjuna. So Arjuna says, yes, it has. I got it now. But if he said no, then he has to keep going. You'd have to, but that's very important to hear with one pointed attention. Or you will go in deeper into illusion. This is the pramada. This is the illusion of the four defects. That just because you're caught up in these other things, you're distracted. Even like when we chant, this is what the whole point of what I wanted to get to, is when we chant, we're called, so back to, I'm now recognizing my train of thought. We said, due to our offenses and misfortune, we have no attraction for the Lord. So luckily Lord Chaitanya is giving solution. What is the solution? No attraction for the Lord. I'll give you a hint, it's the next. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So, while you say, okay, he's giving poetry. Just be more humble than the grass, more tolerant than the tree. Amanina, be prideless. Manidena, give all respect unto others. And I like, last night you broke down what respect means, to be able to really see someone for who they are. It's very important, actually. Because we can see someone and, look at, we can see the external covering, but are we actually seeing? Like when Socrates, you know how Socrates died? You tell.
He drank hemlock poison.
He drank hemlock poison. But do you know what he said before he died?
He said, if you want to kill me, you have to find me first.
Yes. He said, kill me, they can't even see me. He's laughing, all the disciples are crying. Kill me, they can't even see me. And then gulps it down. And he finished his earthly pastime like this. Just like this. But actually, this is to really respect somebody, you have to actually see who they actually are. I thought it was a beautiful point last night you made. You actually have to be able to see who they actually are. So how can we actually be more humble than grass? And what does this have to do with our chanting? How will all these things help our chanting? Because in our chanting, we have to have some foundational things present in order to actually go through the process of chanting. The reason you could say, I know myself, finding myself so restless in the chanting, is because instead of the conclusion of, yes, this is Krishna, I want to associate with Krishna, there's a million anarthas telling me, no, this is more important, this is more important, this is more important. And we have to do a billion other things while we're chanting. Maybe chanting, I'm picking up sticks, I'm chanting and I'm going here, I'm driving to this store, and next thing you know, and then our chanting can be, for all intents and purposes, not very effective. That's why we say, we'll never achieve Krishna Prema. Every morning we say, and this is a Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. What I translated out in English is a Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. It's guaranteed if we don't somehow chant without offenses, we'll never get the desired success, Krishna Prema. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Trinadapi Sunichana, Tararapi Sahishna. But how is this going to help? How can I be more humble than grass? Well, what is grass? It's a blade of grass. How can you be more humble than a blade of grass? What's the similarity between you and grass? I'll give you a hint.
Position
What's that? Yes, the position is actually the same. What's the position?
on the ground, insignificant.
No, that's not the external part of the grass. What's the other part of the grass? Yes, it's an Atma, which is ultimately Jivera Sarupahoy Krishna Nityadas. It's an eternal servant of Krishna. So actually, this will help put us on the position of grass if we know what grass is, if we know what we are, if we actually can learn to respect grass and respect ourselves, actually understand, oh, I'm a soul, I'm a spirit soul, and I'm a servant of Krishna. That's even a more advanced teaching. But just to know at first, I'm an immaterial being, and so is this grass. Consciousness is immaterial, right? This is, Krishna says, never have I not existed, nor any of these kings. Now, never shall any of us cease to be. We're all eternal, spiritual beings. But the bodies keep dying. We watch all the bodies die. We watch our grandparents die. We watch someone mow the lawn and kill so much grass, or, poison so many things. So what actually is happening? But if we understand the spiritual nature of all beings, we can actually learn to be very humble and very respectful, because we can actually understand, I'm not any better off than a child. I'm not any better off than this person, that person, this person. Yes.
Pretty said that we're actually not any better off than grass, because at least grass is in its proper ego.
Yeah, grass is in a much more humble position, actually. Grass is in a much more humble position where we have the tendency to have pride. Amanina means a lack of pride, no sense of false prestige, thinking one's so great. But we can, because we get puffed up with the fruits of jnana, even devotional jnana, like, oh, look at this verse, I can chant like this, we can do. I do it. This is happening. It's so we have to be very, we have to try and be careful. So when we chant, if it's understood, okay, I'm a spirit soul. In the Upanishads and the Vedas, we're the witness. We're the actual witness to reality. We're not actually doing anything in this material world. This is all the bodily and mental platforms. If we understand our philosophy, it will deter us from getting so engaged in the material. If we have to, wait, I'm a spirit soul, and I'm not of this world. There's another world that I'm part of. There's a spiritual world. There's a spiritual reality. And that's why the devotee, they go inward. It's the devotee goes inward. And there's so much distraction sending you, no, go out. This is what the Tatastha is. The Tatastha Shakti. We're at the cusp. We could go in and connect with the Lord in his uppercut, manifested form and reality. Or we could go out and try and, that's the mistake, the initial mistake, thinking, yes, outside, this is where the happiness lies. So this happens in our chanting. How often, how often is, we have to go here, we have to go there, like this. So, but if we understand our eternal position, if we understand the analogy, Prabhupada gives this a beautiful analogy in the from the Upanishads, in Bhagavad Gita, like 3 or 4 times. What is the analogy? Give you a hint. There's the two. Yes, the 2 birds. Sahadev is saying. There's the 2 birds. And one bird is out there looking out into the material world. Yum, yum, yum. Ooh, fruits. Oh, it's bitter. Ugh. Yeah, and then it goes to the next thing. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. Oh, God, this one too. Yes, this is the analogy. This is what we'll do. We'll go from here to there, and Netflix, and this thing, that thing, the other thing, sex, and drugs, and good food, and this, that, and the other thing, and then at the end, it's always bitter. So again, when we're chanting, things are always pulling us, but who are we actually? It's the difference between, Bhaktisiddhanta always tries to make this point, there was an old gentleman, and he thought he knew Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he was like, oh, I used to go to his house. I saw you when you were a little boy. And Bhaktisiddhanta, he chastised him. Everyone's like, why? He's your elder. Why would you ever? But he said, you never knew Bhakti Vinod Thakur. You never knew him. Why? Because actually he's giving a deep philosophical thing. Because he only knew the externals of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He wasn't seeing the soul. And actually neither are we. We only know the externals of ourself. We only, I'm this body, I'm from this lineage, I'm this, I, my, right? You've heard this. This is the source of illusion. We think we are something we're not. I'm a girl, I'm a boy, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. But actually, if we understand, even in the midst of chanting, especially in the midst of chanting, that, oh no, I'm not these things. I'm actually, it's just me and you, Krishna. And I can't see you right now, but you're seeing me. And I keep going, but I should turn somehow or other and turn to you.
So what's the easiest way to turn? Call someone's name. But instead of actually turning to Krishna still, or say Hare Krishna in the mind, we don't turn actually. In our chanting, we cannot turn. We don't actually turn our attention towards Krishna. We can say Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. I have to do this later. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I hate that guy. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And then this, and that. So many things are going on in the mind, right? We're not actually turning the conscious nor the attention towards Krishna in any way. So this is actually a great, we have to tolerate this. We have to tolerate this, and we have to keep going. It's like being more tolerant than a tree. Everything is pulling us outside. Everything is pulling us towards anything other than just sitting and chanting. Anything other than associating with Krishna. In Krishna's name is His form, His qualities, His pastimes. Everything can come. All of this that we're reading, it can all come. But for whatever reason, why we're not actually chanting Krishna's name, because we're covered by the offenses, aparads, and we're not even chanting Namabas, because Namabas will completely liberate you at that point. So that would be wonderful to chant Namabas. And then soon after Namabas comes, then the pure name will eventually come. Krishna will come to you. But we have to put our attention on Krishna. It's very important. We actually put our consciousness on. What are we practicing? Krishna consciousness. Yes, we have to actually be Krishna conscious. And we think like, yes, I'm doing so many activities related to Krishna. I'm reading, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But actually when we sit, most of the activity we do the most in our chanting, am I actually Krishna conscious? Even though I'm saying Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, but where's the consciousness often?
It's in your mind and your mind in the mind.
Yes, this is actually, this is found in the Hari Bhakti Vilas of how to chant japa properly. To put your mantra in the mind in the mantra. To really give your full attention to Krishna in the activity. So, when we realize how far away we are from that objective, at least myself, when I realized that, we should probably feel like a little sorry. Like, oh, I'm a big doofus. I'm a big doofus. I'm like sitting here, I'm so-called practicing Krishna consciousness, but I can't even sit and try and put my mind on you, Krishna. And we should feel very repentant. That's why Gaura Govinda Maharaj and everyone's saying we should cry for Krishna, actually. We should be lamenting bitterly that I'm not, I'm just, what nonsense I am. I can't believe I have this attachment. All this. We should cry for Krishna. I have no taste for you at all, Krishna. We should be repentant and sorry. That's why Jesus is first teaching before he does anything else. What does he say first, Jagadish?
Seek first the kingdom.
No, before that. You can't seek the kingdom. He says, repent! Repent! The Greek is metanoia. It actually means change your mind. Yeah.
It leads us to the throne of grace.
Yes.
And then we have to rest.
Yes.
With humility and let the mind rest. And not be monkey mind.
Yes.
Sit before the
Yes. So this is actually, repent means, the Greek word for it is metanoia. Metanoia means to change one's mind. So again, the attention. Change the consciousness. What are we actually, what are we putting the conscious? So to actually repent, instead of, I'm so sorry, I've been putting my mind here, and here. I want to put it on you. So you pray to the Lord. You beg the Lord, please, let me focus on you. Please send me someone who will help me focus on you. Like this. And then some sadhu will come in some way and help you. Or something will happen. Some divine thing will happen. The Lord is always waiting for us. But so we should be sorry. We should be very sorry. And this is part of amanina. Becoming prideless. Instead of thinking, oh, look at me, I'm so good. Check it out, I did 35 rounds today. Like this. Or, ooh, look what I did today. Instead of all these things, if we really evaluate, we have a lot more to be sorry for in our, probably myself, offensive chanting rather than our, look at all the spiritual chores I did today. That's what I call like a lot of the activities I do, spiritual chores, because I do them because I know I should, and I don't want to get punished for Krishna or looked down upon by my guru or this or that or by the other devotees. And I do so many spiritual chores every day. But actually, if I were doing them with Krishna consciousness, how wonderful, how blissful I could actually be. But, so we should be sorry. And, yes,
I have a question.
Sure.
You said earlier that Krishna's indifferent
Yes. Well, Krishna, in one sense, he's Atmaram. He's already self-satisfied, so he doesn't mind what we do. But there's also another quality of Krishna, that he's Bhakta Vatsal. He's especially affectionate to his devotees. It seems contradictory, but Krishna actually gives everyone what they want. If they want Krishna, then Krishna also wants them. But if
So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you just said that you don't want to get punished because you don't chant his name.
Yes, yes. So you could say the punishment is we're already experiencing. Our whole life we've been experiencing like this. So I was explaining that when bhakti sprouts, you know that Kleshagni will come, it'll remove all my troubles, it'll give me all auspiciousness in my life. So if you juxtapose those two lifestyles, a completely liberated and happy life versus my life, when you practice devotion, especially in the beginning in Vaidhi, you can be like very fearful of continuing on the punishment that you've already been receiving. You say, no, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this type of lifestyle anymore. So it's not that Krishna is going to beat you down even further. We're already beat down, actually. So the Vaidhi Bhakta, the beginning Bhakta, he's saying, I don't want to get beat down anymore. I want to go back to Godhead. I don't want to be here anymore. Like this. So it's kind of like that. But he's not going to all right, well, now I'm going to send you to hell. It's not Krishna's like some prodding, ha ha ha, you didn't chant my name, poking and like this. No, he doesn't care for this. He's Atmaram, he's completely self-satisfied, he's indifferent. He'll let the living entities, if they want, they want a world where they can focus on illusions. Here you go. This is what this world is. But it comes with its own punishments. Just like we're indifferent to a lot of the prisoners in society. The king's indifferent to them. He's all right. They're going to prison, but he's not thinking, checking up. Well, maybe now some of them are like, hey, how's that Ghislaine Maxwell doing, or this one and that one? Maybe if they're implicated with the prisoner. But other than that, you kind of all right. They're off in prison, doing prison sports and activities. So see Krishna, but he's not like that. He's always willing. If we're willing, he gives the living entities whatever they desire. So if they desire things of this material world, he gives them full facility. Okay, these comes with consequences, but that's what you desire, no problem. Just like if you desire to stick your hand in the fan, I'll say, Avani, please don't. Please don't do it. No, I think I want to try it. And then you eventually do it, there will be consequence. So similarly, in this material world, if you stick your hand in sense pleasure, there will be some consequence. The consequence is misery. So anyway, we're experiencing, every one of us, right? We've experienced this before. So yeah, he's not like some prouder in poker. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to finish this last point because just to get through this Trinada P verse, and then we have to end. But this, we should be sorry, and we should actually, try to focus our, on what's really who we are as a soul. We're Tatastha Shakti. We're always on the cusp. I could go towards Krishna, I can go to the Swarup Shakti, or I can go to Maya Shakti. What am I going to go to? Every second we have this, this choice. This talk about the fall of the jiva, right? When did we fall? When did we fall? Every second we're falling. Every second, every moment we have some opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to go towards Krishna. Oh, no, I'm falling into this. And that every second, the fall of the jiva is happening. It's an eternal principle. We're beyond time, actually. So we're always falling. Every second, we're falling from the jiva. We're the fallen jivas. But actually, we have the opportunity when chanting to turn the consciousness, the attention towards Krishna. We can do like this. And so this is, part of the amanina, becoming prideless and turning towards Krishna. And then, because why? We understand the Krishna, this spiritual reality, this is the real reality I want to be with. This is actually my true nature. Jivara Swarupa Hoy, the jiva's real form is Krishnara Nityadas. You're an eternal servant of Krishna.
Krishna Tatasta Shakti Beta Beta Prakash, right? We are on the marginal energy, and we can turn, we're one with and different from him. But where the fall of the jiva is happening, and instead of like, all right, consciousness, I'm going to Krishna, the consciousness is thinking about the lady, or this thing, or that thing, or food later, or this thing, that thing, engaging the senses. So,
Or being overly concerned with our own baloney.
yes.
Or just being overly concerned
Yes,
about even our spirituality.
yeah, with
where we're going,
anything.
rather than surrendering.
Yeah, there's a verse Krishna mentions in the Uddhav Gita, Bhayam dvitiya binivesha tasyad. Fear arises when our absorption is in dualism, meaning anything other than Krishna, then as you said, it's baloney. it will be complete baloney.
And there's some verse in the Bhagavad Gita where the highest thing is, doesn't he say, surrender to me?
Yes.
And I will
He'll deliver us from
Let
all
me
of the
deliver
stances.
you.
Sarvadharman prityaja
give up your
mamekam
anxiety.
sharanam
Come to my feet, surrender.
Yes, so this is what we're trying to do. The association of pure devotees will allow us to do this. But we have to actually realize the spiritual essence of life, turn towards it, stop being the fallen jivas, stop falling, and turn upwards. Okay, I'm going to you, Krishna. This is my activity of the day. I'm turning to you. I'm going to call your name. It's simple. I'm calling for you. And in that name, if actually the sincere name comes, and it has to do with our intention, our consciousness. That's why this activity, it's Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It'll cleanse our consciousness. Because our consciousness is focusing on, it's in Brahm, it's made a mistake. But now in Krishna consciousness here, we know the mistake at this point. That's a great benediction. We know the mistake. We know the energies of Krishna's spiritual energy and the material energy. We know now that when we go and associate with the non-devotional world and the non-devotional senses, that it only gives misery. So now we can just say, oh, I'll just make the adjustment now. Well, it's still a practice. Sadhana bhakti, it's still a thing. You have to practice. But the hope is I actually know what to do. Some devotee has helped you. Many devotees have probably helped you. I know in my life, many hundreds, thousands of devotees have helped me go forward. So, but we still have to do it. We still have to, not that we're the doer, but we still have to take our consciousness and make a choice. What is our choice? We should focus on, the Swarup Shakti, the spiritual Shakti, on Krishna. And we should be eager. We should be eager to do that. Instead of, chanting our rounds, I can't wait till this is over. If that's happening, you just, wait a second. I can't wait for this to be over. The fall of the jiva must have happened. The fall of the jiva must have happened if I can't wait for this to be over. So I have to reassess, all right, okay. Maybe you go through all the things you have to go through in your mind again, and to realize, no, there's a great benefit in me approaching Krishna. And then you go back to chanting with actually approaching Krishna. So, ultimately, when we understand and when we surrender to Krishna, right, we only do things that are favorable for Krishna. We stop doing things that are unfavorable to Krishna. We understand He's maintaining us. We trust, even if I sit here and chanting, my life's not going to be hampered and nothing's bad is going to happen to me. He'll maintain whatever I'm worried about. He'll protect me from whatever else I'm worried about. No problem. And then whatever happens is good. I can trust Krishna. I can trust Him. He will make my life good. And then that will make us humble. This is the Sharanagati. These are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. And that's the first thing. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, thing. So if we go through all these things, we'll realize that, we're His servant. He is protecting us. We're His servant. And then ultimately, He is our master. And then what that looks like, then the rest of Shikshastakam can kind of explain, what's going on. But it's very important. If we take our ability to chant, this is a glorious opportunity we have for 3 to 24 hours a day. But like in our Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada is giving the the bare minimum of 16 just to be a human being. If you want to actually have a human life, do at least these 16 rounds. And then from there we could expand upon it. But we can actually develop a taste, towards this rati and this bhakti, this, as Prabhupada's calling it, this real devotion. This is we have to also see the goal. Prem bhakti, this is the goal, to be in complete bliss and absorption and love for Krishna. Complete juxtaposition against where we're at, or where I'm at right now. We're like, oh man, I'm doing spiritual chores. All right, go get my spiritual workout for today, and I'll tolerate this 3 hours. Instead, it could be a joyful turn of the consciousness towards Krishna. It could be a wonderful experience, actually. But for that, we'll need help of Satam, the pure devotees. And thank you for tolerating me for a little bit of time. This was my unplanned presentation on chanting, or Trinada Pisini China. But yeah, Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment or anything like that? This always happens when I speak too long. Sadly.
I think you said it all, Prabhu, but and I mean that because it was such a nice class, very comprehensive, and I really appreciate everything you've shared.
Thank you.
I had a question towards the beginning, and I'm going to try to recall it. Sometimes we see people who are pure devotees, as far as we can perceive, they've dedicated their whole lives to serving Krishna. They're completely steady. They are sources of inspiration for other people, and they have experience. They have they have experiences of I guess higher sort of types of things with Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they might appear to be upset or disturbed by something in the world. But you were making it clear that real bhakti, Prabhupada's making it clear that real bhakti is beginning after liberation. So after you become free from all suffering and all auspicious things begin. So these devotees, I believe, are on this platform, but still they are appearing to be disturbed by things in the world and upset.
Sure.
And so how do we reconcile something like that?
So, Krishna is saying, right, Rupa Goswami is saying, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Pasta Vegam. So this and so on. And these are the qualities of Guru, right? Now, there's two things how to be controlled in anger. You're allowed to get angry, right? But what are the two things that you're allowed to be angry about, or what is a symptom of this angry person? This is transcendental anger. Hanuman had this. What is that?
Towards someone who is blaspheming devotees or inimical to devotees.
Yeah, blaspheming devotees, and then also blaspheming the Lord, or maybe the process of the Lord. So I don't know what devotees you're talking about. I can say that for myself, I try not to. I personally, I have the tendency to judge, and I try not to. But if you are seeing that these things may not have much or anything to do with the devotees or the processes of worshiping the Lord, then maybe you could just evaluate, okay. But also, another thing that I think is really important to understand is we may not be at the ability to recognize a pure devotee. I mean, it says in the Bhagavatam that Vaishnavas, pure Vaishnavas, they walk in this world completely unrecognized by the majority of the world. So it's really only by that Vaishnava's mercy or the Lord's mercy that we actually can even have the adhikar to recognize a pure devotee, because we might not, and so that's actually almost certainly in our beginning stages. What makes a prakrita bhakta or kanishta adhikari is he doesn't know how to associate with people properly. Like the madhyama adhikari, he's able to recognize the devotees, he recognizes the Lord, and he has deep devotion and worship to the Lord, and then he knows how to properly have friendship with the devotees. So for his seniors, he knows to be very submissive before them. He knows to how to act around them, and so on. And then so the Madhyam can actually classify what does an Uttam Bhagavat look like, what does a Madhyam Bhagavat look like, what does a Kanishta Bhagavat look like, and he knows how to act accordingly. And then similarly with the innocent people of the world. So yeah, we can try to learn those things. We can approach our seniors, yeah, as far as if a devotee is doing things that are inexplicable, or you just be like, I cannot understand that. Maybe you can ask a senior, and maybe they can get like a little bit of help. They can help you see maybe from a higher platform if you're having trouble seeing. How can this be transcendental? And then there's always the option that it might not be transcendental. You know, yeah, I've associated in ways. You know, I've done a lot of service with devotees. I worked for devotees. I did many things with devotees over the years, and I had to come to some conclusions that, like, hey, it would be ideal if this was transcendental, but just the fact of the matter is this is not a transcendental affair. And instead of, you know, judging them, or, you know, you just kind of, in the Madhyam platform, you just kind of say, okay, I have to realize if I really want to approach Krishna Prem or something transcendental, maybe this devotee isn't at the place right now that they can really give me that thing. But that also, we could totally be mixing it up. So you should check with your guidance, you know, whatever best spiritual guidance you have, and they should be able to dispel your doubts, and they'll be able to give even examples in Shastra how, like, you know, like for instance, if a devotee is exhibiting anger, you know, you can say, well, look at how Hanuman, he exhibited anger, and how actually this is transcendental anger, and so on. And so, so yeah, but I'm not, you know, I'm not so qualified.
Is this someone you consider to be kind of more experienced than you?
No comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think if someone is more experienced than us, or we think that, for me, I might ask them a question about it directly.
You could,
And
if it's not
they
offensive.
should be able to dispel, they should be able to answer the question.
Yeah.
And if they can't, that's Krishna guiding you, maybe. And maybe, you know,
Yeah.
we
You
should
could.
approach it with our whole mind.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm getting is that I'm allowed to question,
Yeah.
and questions should be answered.
Yeah. But offenselessly, you do.
With full respect.
Yeah, with
We're all
full
dedicated
respect.
Toward moving
Yeah.
toward the truth, so it's just part of
Yeah.
that spirit,
Yeah.
not
It's,
to be anything else.
yeah. So this is.
Respectfully.
Yeah, I like that. You could always approach them if you have a good relationship with them, and just say, you know, because
I don't understand.
especially if you see them as a senior, as like a shiksha guru to you, one of the duties of any guru-disciple relation, it's shiksha and shishya, is that if a doubt arises, they can dispel the doubt.
Exactly.
So if you have that type of relationship, let's say it's a senior in your life, you know, you can privately never make a public spectacle of such a thing. But in private, if you ask them, you know, if I see you doing this thing, it's really hard for me to reconcile this thing, and I want to keep seeing you as like this transcendental personality I can trust. But how? And then a lot of times, you know, maybe like if one of the boys here did that with me, because I'm technically their senior, you know, and they said, oh, you know, you're doing this thing, that thing, and the other thing, and I said, you know what? That's actually due to my my fault. That's due to my attachment to the material world and things like that. They may come very humbly and let you know that, hey, that's my position. That's where I'm at. You know, I'm not completely transcendental. I'm not a completely liberated being, or a very, you know, I'm not having rati and bhav and prem. You know, that's okay. Like, we also can't expect that everybody has to be at that platform, because that's not, that's so high. You have to get so much mercy to be at that platform, but that's, but any part of bhakti is glorious. Any part of bhakti that anyone is doing is glorious, and like it's how fortunate that soul is. So even if they might not meet the marker that you want to impose on them, like you're this pure devotee, you're a prema bhakti, you're a premi bhakta, like, that would be very nice, but they might not be there yet, and many of us might not be there for many, many millions of lifetimes. I don't know, it can happen. Krishna, if he wants, he can make it happen in one lifetime, but that's what I'm saying. It's a really high bar to put on someone, that like you have to act like a premi bhakta. Maybe someone has a position where, like they're even, we see like gurus sometimes, they're in a position of guru, but then they fall down, and like, oh my God, how could this happen? But Prabhupada is saying in Nectar of Instruction, even Kanishthadhyakaris can be guru. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants all of us to be guru. Everyone, he says, at least be a Vartama Pradashika guru for someone. I was watching, you guys are amazing. You guys are on the phone mentoring younger devotees and things like that. You're acting as a Vartama Pradashika guru. So if they were to turn to you and say, hey, Sahadev, why do you do this thing? And then you were like, embarrassed, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's because of my fault. Yeah, now just imagine that from your place to whoever you're looking at as your senior, because everyone has to go through the process. It's not like, all right, well, now I'm a perfected devotee. It's like, it's so high to be a perfected devotee. But we can appreciate, like, you know what, you're still way more advanced than me, and I have a lot to learn from you. And we can have that relationship. But we might also recognize that, like, hey, if this thing I can't resolve my doubt on this matter, maybe I can find somebody who can, and then you can also, you also have to understand, like, for instance, even in the context of Diksha Gurus, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his Diksha Guru is Bipin Bihari. And Bipin Bihari, they had some like disagreements. And actually it looked like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had really, really good point to have this disagreement with Bipin Bihari. So ultimately, who is on the altar as Bhaktivinoda Thakur's inspiration? It's Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he was a Shiksha Guru. So, we're never barred, even if, now I'm not saying, like I know, like for instance, your Diksha Guru is Kalakanta Prabhu. We love Kalakanta Prabhu. Actually, this whole project was inspired from Kalakanta Prabhu in so many ways, and you're hearing every day we're singing the songs of Kalakanta Prabhu. So he's absolutely glorious, wonderful devotee. But I am saying, let's just say this is a Shiksha Guru in your life or anything like that. It's okay, it's not our position to judge them, but, if we are relying on them and they cannot clarify a certain doubt, it's okay to go somewhere else to, have that doubt reconciled, like even when Prabhupada was passing, maybe a little controversial, but it's honest, there were certain devotees, like was it Tripurari Swami, is that it, right? He was a big book distributor. He was massaging Prabhupada's feet. I saw this on Namras. He was massaging Prabhupada's feet, and he said, Prabhupada, when you leave, where will we get instruction? And Prabhupada told him, Sridhar Maharaj, he can give all philosophy. He's even my Shiksha Guru. He said, it's documented, you can listen to it. It's not, So this is actually what Vaishnavas do. I mean, Shamananda, he was initiated by Hridaya Chaitanya. Not only that, Narottam Das Thakur, initiated by Lokanath Goswami. Not only that, Srinivasacharya, initiated by Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Lokanath Goswami are like the most top-level devotees you can imagine. But still, they sent all their disciples to go take shiksha from Jiva Goswami. Why? Because this is Vaishnava culture. Actually, they're not like the gurus will never be possessive. Like they'll never have what's like called guru abhiman, like thinking, yes, I'm the guru, you're the disciple, and like the guru, what makes him a guru? He's the best disciple, and they're very humble, their topmost humility. So I, like, for instance, my Guru Maharaj, many times I ask him a certain question, and he gave his best answer, but he saw maybe there's still some doubt. He referred me to a god brother that I could talk to that might be able to help me dispel the doubt. Multiple times it's happened. And I don't see my guru as any less. Oh, he didn't know everything, or he didn't know every single thing that I needed to hear to dispel this doubt. No, and I still have I love my Guru Maharaj so much. I get to talk to him at least once a week, and then this service is an extension of him here. But it's not that he has to be able to dispel everything. Like, even imagine having Gopal Bhatta Goswami as your guru, or Lokanath Goswami, perfected, high level, Manjari Bhav, the topmost pinnacle of, devotees. And even they're saying, oh, you should go hear from Jiva Goswami. Why not, well, you're perfect. But they don't have that type of culture. They don't have that abhiman. So, this is one thing, maybe. Is that helpful?
Very helpful.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. Yeah,
So,
very nice answer.
yeah,
Thank you, Jagdish, as well.
so, all right. I think it's 9:38, so we must end. But thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. Thank you guys every day who are studying here, and we're very happy. And thank you guys, Sahadev and Bhakta Bruce and Brihat Mridanga Prabhu, because this is amazing. I'm very happy to be with you guys.